Okay, you join me on a beautiful sunny day, as you can see. Um, Starting a 48-hour session on a new venue for myself called Kingsnordley on Mallards. I'm here with two friends. We've come on to the spit. We're the only ones on here at the moment. It just means we control more water. I'm in the middle of the spit, facing out to the larger open part of the water. My friend is round the corner. He's on the other side of the spit. He's got the bay behind me, pretty much to himself. And literally just over the path is our other friend, who's got the other bay to himself. On here is a 2-1 limit with barbless hooks. So I've had nothing yet. We set up I forgot to do the intro bit. So my friend Phil's already had one, about £3, but a nice beautiful common, right from in the margin. So we will see how the 48 hours go. But if this weather keeps up, might try a bit of surface fishing. I don't know, the wind is hacking across and I haven't really seen many on the surface. I'll just keep an eye out and see what happens. I'll do a section later on my ground bait that my mixture of baits that I've used for today, this session. Different to how I normally go, predominantly because it used to be a pleasure lake. It's more of a pleasure stroke carp lake, so I've gone back to how I would fish for smaller carp and when I was doing pleasure fishing with roach and all that stuff, to see if I can get them in. So we'll talk about that later, and hopefully I'll see you in a bit with the sunshine on me with a nice big carp. Okay, catch me down here with my friend Mark. And before you all say about social distance and all that stuff, Mark lives over the road from me and he's part of my bubble, as they call it. He's my usual fishing buddy, along with Phil, who's over in his peg at the moment. I'm going to make this video about fishing, carp fishing, fishing in general with disabilities. My friend here, Mark, unfortunately does have MS, which makes it a bit awkward for him sometimes, doesn't it, mate?
Does it? It does.
It does, apart from when he tries to fall in the lake or something like that, you know.
Or on the floor.
Or on the floor. So we'll have a bit of a discussion about, you know, doesn't matter, you could say, well, whatever, you know, you can always get out on the lake. I mean, to the point where you can just about see it in the little corner. I'll put an arrow to it. He's got his scooter with him to come round. They let bait boats be used on here, so we're using his bait boat so we can properly get into places where he wants to. But yeah, it's fishing with disabilities, as we're going to call it. Mark's the one to talk to you about all that. He's been fishing a lot longer than I have, but he's had MS for the last 10 years, 12 years. Progressively getting worse, unfortunately, which makes my life and Phil, who's just come and stopped just over there, our lives as his fishing buddies, great fun. Because one minute he could be standing and the next minute he takes a step and he's on the floor. First question is, you alright? And it's yep, and then it's laughing. Because there's no other way to do it really, is there? So, right, Marky boy, what's life like for you fishing with your disabilities?
It's hard, but it's enjoyable. If it weren't for you, then I'd find it even harder.
Well, thank you for that, but no, you were doing it beforehand without my help. It's just now you've got an extra pair of hands.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
yeah.
2 pair of hands.
Well, to bring all my stuff around.
Yeah,
here.
to bring all your stuff around, so we carry all your stuff, so you can sit there and relax.
Yeah.
Sit everything up. I mean, he does have the life of luxury. You can see the bivvy behind me. We brought it all around, me and Phil. Got his brand new bed out that he's using for the first time. That's bloody humongous. It's that big, and we've got it high enough so he can get on and off quite easily. He brought the wrong bivvy with him really, because as soon as he sits up and he tries to get out,
He's going to smack his head.
he's going to smack his head off the front of his door. So to be honest with you, I'm thinking about saving my phone battery, having it set up recording all night on night vision, just so we can see Mark try and get out of his bivvy and go backwards because of his head, because it's going to be as funny as hell. Which will make this video even better for us.
I just got myself a nice 3-4 pounder.
Yeah, I mentioned it on the first bit. This is the
thank
second
you.
bit. So well, hopefully,
Caught a tree.
yeah, caught a tree.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, we'll get some more videos put in of myself with fish, Mark with fish, Phil with some more fish. He's already had one, and if Phil sends the stills over to me from his, I'll be able to put those in this video before this little chat, so we can see his little comment that he had.
Yeah, I'll send them over.
So we are sat here enjoying the social, which is what the three of us always do. We don't tend to catch much because Mark seems to be a bad omen, because as you know in the last video with me and Phil, we had about 10 fish and stuff.
Yeah, I know, but you're forgetting about France.
Ooh!
Hey, 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 hey.
Oh, here we go.
40 pounder, weren't it?
Yes, it was a 40 pounder in France, but no one really caught it in France.
Oh. Oh, there's the beaks.
There's the beeps. Yeah, no one really had anything in France because they decided to spawn on us.
After 2 days.
Yeah. We're meant to be going back this year.
COVID screwed that.
Yeah, COVID got that one done and dusted, so we're going back next year now.
Which were
To
different lake.
yeah, we're going to, last year went to Lactacorn, as you can see by the hoodie. Next year we are going to his other lake, Black Solace. That's only for 3 anglers, so it's just the 3. Ooh, getting beeps left, right and centre here for Mark. We might be able to get a live catch.
That's on the sweet corn, that was.
So yeah, we're going back there next year. I will put a link to his website in the description, so people can go and have a look at it. It's a nice place. We didn't really do anything there last year apart from drink beer, eat food
Chat and laugh.
and chat and laugh, because literally we got there on the Saturday and by the Monday morning they started to spawn, and that was it, the week was gone. But we had a good time,
Definitely.
and hence why you're going back. And you've got-
Unfinished business.
yes, unfinished business. So that will be one of my trips and stuff that we'll do next year. I'll be recording that, and that will be called Unfinished Business
Yeah.
in France. And we only had 5 fish between us for those 4 of us that went in the first 36 hours, which, to be fair, you know, not a bad going. Biggest was Mark's 40, the smallest was 24 pound, I think. Phil had a 26.
26, yeah. 26 common.
I had the 24, Steve had a 27, your other one was about a 25, wasn't it? something like that.
It was a mid 20, yeah.
Yeah, so we had a good start. Then they got randy.
And then some.
So hopefully we'll see you all in a bit with some fish. I'll also try and get some more action shots this time with people
Falling over.
Yeah, we'll do some stunt shots with Mark falling over. We hopefully get some shots of us reeling in fish and netting it, and a bit more of a proper show this time. Because obviously last time I was with my son, so I was concentrating a lot more. Oh, we have a take. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it and slip. Right, evening update. Not a lot's happened. A couple of guys come and did an afternoon down the opposite end of the lake, which is down that way. I had one out in about 3 hours. We used to only had the one between us, which is Phil's. Ring the changes, different spots. I've even gone to a method bore to see if that'll drag them in with a bright pink pop-up to go in with that, so it really stands out. Mark's gone and tried sweet corn, and we've just put his other rod again to the rebed straight in front of him, and he's gone with 2 donkey chonkers, so he looks like he's got a pair of balls on the end of his hook. So yeah, all quiet on the Western Front.
I'm currently running the 15mm
So
yellow fluorocarbon.
yeah, so we'll just hopefully see. I mean, they have been showing to where I have put the method ball out. I have been jumping out over there and fizzing. So, you know, you never know. I did miss a bite earlier. Well, I was saying miss. I got to the rod. He took the rod into the water. Hooked into it. Felt it for a split second, and then either the knot pulled or the line broke, because I was right in the margin, so it could have been underneath a snag and broke the line that way. Felt like a half decent fish, but don't they all want to get away? That's the only action I've had. The only thing to note about here, I mean, I haven't had it over my side, but Mark and Phil have, are the crayfish. They've brought in a few times and had, obviously, tell the crayfish have been going at the boilies and the pop-ups. So, but apart from that, it's been quite quiet. So we'll hopefully see you maybe soon, or in the areas of darkness, with a carp in our hands. Okay, it took a while. It's 12:30, 1:45, I think it is. It's not a monster, but I need to stretch up the imagination. Still plenty of fight left in her. But a nice little 5 pounds. Remember? Always nice to catch first fish off a new venue. So I will show you the bait tomorrow that she was caught on. I'm going to slip this one back and hopefully see you again during the night. Right, you joined me at about 6:30 in the morning. I did have another one during the night, didn't film it. I was getting it out and the hook and everything was stuck in the net, so I unhooked it in the net just on the edge of the grass just there,
and just as I unhooked it, it decided to do the salmon flip and flip itself back into the water. It's only about 8, maybe 9 pound, but we do have a better fish now. 13 pound 4, caught literally right in the margin, so I didn't cast it back out last night, so I just dropped it underneath the tree to my right. I had put bait there already, hoping for a bite from there. Whoa. Doesn't want to be held. Let's see if we can get in this side. Come on. There we go. 13 pound 4 to said side, not 12. Nice little common. It's got a nice little marking on the back here, which I'll show you on the other side. Which is a scar. Well, it's lost some scales. That's one way to get woken up in the morning, isn't it? There you go, you can just about see the scar in the middle of its flank where it's all the scales gone missing. Beautiful fish, nice early wake up. So I'll get the rods back out and hopefully catch you again soon with some more fish. Okay, as promised, show you the bait that I'm using. It's quite simple. Sweet corn, tuna, pellets, and my choice of boilies, which is the E5 from Retreat Baits. I've got a mixture of 12, 14mm boilies and some dumbbells, and then a mixture of different size pellets. Then in here is a mixture of salt, chilli and garlic. I'll unwrap this because I wrapped it up nice and tight, so this is going to take a few seconds. You want it popping open in my bag. Don't really fancy my bags. My fishing bag smelling of garlic for the whole trip. So I've got me bait spoon. Literally just put in both tins of tuna. Oil and all. Just break those up a bit. Both tins of sweet corn straight in. There we go. A bit of a mix round. Get my pellets, which are all different sizes. 11s all the way down to like 2s and 3s. All those in now. This is my mix for the rest of the trip. As you can see, that is looking beautiful as it is. You can use that straight away, you don't have to add the boilies. I'm just adding boilies because I always like a few boilies in there. As you can see, not very good pictures of it, but all different sizes. So they're good few handfuls of the boilie. I know some people use chopped and crushed or half boilies. As these are so small, I'm not bothering this time. Give that a good mix round. That's it at the moment. No time for my flavourings, which I've already pre-mixed together, so they're all mixed up. All of those, and that's that. Oh, smell of that, beautiful. Showers and smelly vision. And there we go, all mixed up nicely. I'll leave that now to sit for half an hour, 45 minutes before I put it out and give it time to soak up all the goodness. And hopefully that will bring me some more bites. It's now about 1 o'clock. I've had nothing since 6:30 this morning, about 13 pounder. It's been nice and quiet. We've had rain, it's light rain at the moment. So we'll see how all that goes. Apparently the rain's in now for the rest of the day and the night. Could fall some down, could not, you never know. But hopefully we'll get some more fish, and I'll see you soon. Okay, here's Phil with his second carp.
A rather large one, I might add. But he's going to play ball now.
We just weighed him, 11 pound. He looks bigger.
Look at the size of the
But
belly.
then where you can see where Phil's fingers are, how empty his belly is there. When he's lying flat, I'll get a little video of him in the thing. He definitely looks bigger. Phil, if you just look at me and pose like you're going to be smiling, I can take some stills off for you.
There you go.
Tip him finger, you're lying him flat.
I know, I was trying to... Hang on. There you go, hang on. There we go.
Okay, we'll get some stills for Phil off this. There we go. Looking nice.
I will spin him round. Oh, hang on. Need a little bit more water for him. He's a lively one. He has a few little markings where he's been there.
Other way.
Oh, other way.
Yeah, you've had him that way.
Okay. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go.
There we go. That's the other side. Right, so we'll get him back now.
Yeah. He's 11, but he looks more like...
As you can see, as he's down, you can see the gut, but as you can tell when we're holding him, all here is just empty, so he looks bigger than he is, but 11 pound on the dot.
Yeah. Right.
Caught on the old faithful
Ronnie rig.
But
with the tweak that I made earlier, I went from being with pop-ups, which weren't doing me very good, to a 15mm Monster Red, but Baitworks boilie. I had a numerous liners beforehand, and he carted off right then when I leaned into him, he was already coming back on himself.
Time for a little update after Phil's £11 fish. I've had a few knocks, thought I had one, but nothing was there. It did start to go, so I think it just either caught the line or spat the hook as I grabbed it. There's a guy opposite me, he's had a couple out. I'm happy with my baits and everything else. It's just time to sit and wait and hope, as you do, to a fish to fall foul of your hook. I'm using helicopter setups on both. One with a Ronnie rig, and the other with a blowback rig. Had fish on both rigs, so that's working okay. Had them on different flavours but similar in colour. I've had a clockwork orange soaked in squid, which has obviously made the bait go a slight pink colour. Then the other one was on an IB wafter soaked in almond, which obviously makes it go a reddy pink. And then a pineapple bottom bait, which has produced the bigger fish, which was the one from underneath the tree that I just put there last night. That's also been soaked in almond goo. So it seems to be, at the moment, a reddy pink. It seems to be working well. So that's the colours I've got out at the moment. Phil had his fish on Monster Red or Monster something. That's a reddish colour as well. Mark round the corner, he's only had a bream, but again, that was on a reddy colour, so it seems like red seems to be the colour today. I have spotted the bloke overs doing method balls with what looks like stuff soaked in a goo, which is red colour, and he's obviously had a couple, so at the moment red seems to be the colour working on here. Let's wait and see. Guys, come for a chat with the old mucker. Talk about his style of fishing and what he's doing.
Okay.
He has got a grain bait very similar to mine that we're using, a mix. Boilies, pellets, tuna, sweet corn, but you also had sardines.
In tomato sauce. I also had some 1 mil micro pellets, a mixture of falls, twos, and also some large halibut pellets. Also these are 6 or 8 mil pellets as well. That was all mixed in with disc mixers. I also had Scopex squid by NGT, their flavouring, and the rest of a little bit of banoffee that I had in the tub, which had been drizzled over with a little bit of water to give it, just to soak up a little bit of the pellets to soak up a little bit. That's what I just caught, what I used to bait up to catch my last fish that you just saw.
Yeah, as I was explaining in the video before, red seems to be the colour that's catching here. Instead of reddish pinks, because that's what I've caught on. The one you caught on just was on that Monster.
It was a Baitworks Monster Red.
Monster Red.
15 mil bottom bait.
So again, but that was a darker red, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't physically have one here to show you, but it's
because that was his last one he just used.
Yeah,
it's just a darker red. So
it's a darker red of that. It's literally like 2 shades darker than that.
So again, red. Mark's had his bream on a red. We're going to take the piss out of him for that because we are carp fishing and he's caught a bream.
The
Even though-
slimy things.
Even though
Slimy.
he's saying it's safe and a blank, does it count really?
No.
Anyway, we're doing all that we can. Fishing hard, baiting up hard, and doing everything else. But the bit of for this is to show you that money isn't really a factor to getting your edge on the bank.
It definitely isn't.
I'm on benefits, and so's Phil. I'm on benefits as my wife is disabled and I'm her carer.
I'm also on benefits because of my partner with her mental health problems and numerous other factors that I shall not go into.
So, yes, we've got gear. Most of mine, I'd say 3/4 of mine is second hand. The rods are the reels, the bite alarms, everything. If you're willing to do the work and search the internet and scour Facebook and eBay, you can find yourself some bargains and get yourself some really good deals. I got 3 Sonic S3s, 3 1/4 test curve for 120 quid.
That's a bargain.
So, you don't have to have a fortune to come fishing.
I started off with a £10 rod and a £15, if at most £15 reel with a couple of hook lengths by NGT, which were ridiculously bad when we first started. They
Yeah.
were braided hook lengths, but you can literally snap it with your fingers. It was that rubbish, but it did the job.
And we've been fishing together now 7, 8 years. 7, 8 years, something like that. Well, Tyler's 9, so he was baby. So yeah, just over 8 years.
Just over 8 years, yeah.
Been fishing together because my son, who you saw in the last video, he was just been born when we first started fishing together. We've been friends for a lot longer. We've been friends since I was 16.
I was 15, yeah.
I'm 40 later this year, so it shows how long we've been friends. I've been fishing on and off for years.
I hadn't dabbled in anything at all.
I took Phil fishing up to a little lake that I know and I live very close to. Can't night fish there, it is only a day place. Wharton. Great carping. I've had £18.4 out there, which was my PB for a number of years. That's the first time Phil went fishing and he got hooked, like most people.
Yeah, it came a bit of an obsession, which has since then grown into even more of an obsession, that I will literally look through Facebook, eBay. I'll be badgering my missus for this new little gadget, that new little gadget, a new reel or something that just to improve my fishing, and I can all blame him for all of it.
Yes, you can. And I'm proud of that fact.
Yeah.
And the problem I've got now is I've done it to another person. But this person's only 9. My son in the last video, he's been on a few trips, enjoyed it a lot. And for his birthday, which will hopefully be on the next video or the video afterwards, he'll be using his own rods and reels and his equipment that we got for his birthday on his session. Save using mine. Well, we'll be using some of mine and stuff. But
Don't you mean nicking mine and all?
Yeah, and yours. Yeah, as he does.
Yeah.
But that will be hopefully maybe not the next video, maybe the video afterwards. It all depends when I get a chance to take him again.
He's definitely got the bug. There's
Yeah.
no doubt.
No doubt. He wanted to come on this trip, but unfortunately between my last trip and this trip, I had car troubles. I had to get rid of my car and had to buy a car quickly. So it's nowhere near as big as my old car. My old car was, well, it was TARDIS. You could fit anything in it. It was humongous. And now I've gone down to a little estate and it's a struggle. But
Hey, what you do what you got to do.
you do. So, as we were saying, you know, you don't need to spend a fortune to come fishing. It's what Danny Fairgrass said in his latest Thinking Tackle, I think it is, or it might be the one before, so Series 3, Episode 2, when he's at Norton, saying that, you know, Norton Disney is designed for any angler to go up. Doesn't cost you a small fortune, because they feed on pellets, so you can buy pellets nice and cheap. As long as you got the stuff, it's not going to cost you a small fortune. And I think that's how fishing should be. You shouldn't be spending a fortune.
There are places, don't get me wrong, that I'd love to go to. I really would, but financial constraints with sunset fisheries are extremely expensive. When you haven't got the money, you can't go to your linears all the time or your Farlows or places like that because of the distance of travelling, money constraints, etc. It's harder for people to get to. When you've got your local waters like where we are now, it's a half an hour drive.
Yeah, it's
Right.
half an hour drive, and this lake, which is Mallards, is only £35 for 48 hours. There are carp up to low 20s in here. We haven't caught any yet. So
We
biggest,
both-
we both had double figure fish, but then still on this complex, you got the grebe, which has sturgeon, grass carp, catfish, and everything else. Then that goes up to £55 for 48 hours.
But that's because of the biggest stamp of
Biggest stamp of fish, obviously the fish that are in there. So you've got all of that, which makes a difference. And with linear, it's reasonably priced at 60 quid for 3 rods for 48 hours. So there isn't much difference in price there, but the difference being, because linear is fished so much, the fish down there tend not to catch. You know, I've struggled down there. I've been there 8 times and blanked 6 times.
I've been there 8, blanked 5.
Yeah, 5
Five
times.
times. 5 times, yeah.
I mean, I admit I've lost fish when I've been down there and stuff, but at the moment I was starting to lose the passion for fishing, for constantly going down linear and doing things like that and not catching. I've come back to, as I said earlier in the video, with the bait, back to basics, coming to little places that haven't got huge head of carp size-wise, but they're getting me bending the rod, they're getting me excited again, and that's what I needed. I needed that excitement again.
The passion that God,
Yeah, it left me.
it left me in November last year, when that's the last time I went, previously to the video that you previously just saw. I hadn't been since November, during obviously COVID and everything, and us being put on lockdown and whatnot. Even just watching your typical carp video, your thinking tackle, your car analytics and stuff, that still wasn't exciting me. But when I got a bend in my rod, it may have only been the one on the previous trip, but it was still a fish, which it still counted. I felt like I'd actually achieved something because I'd worked hard for it, nearly 48 hours in. It took me at least 36 hours, if not more. Well, him next door was popping them out every 2 minutes.
That was more, I think, because we were both on the same bait. You know, we were on the same bait at that trip. We were using pellets because we knew it was a much pleasure angling. Like, we were both on pellets, both on the same pellets. They were just coming to my spot and not going to his. And I've had it the other way around, where we fished for 48 hours. I've had one, he had about 8 or 9, that was on a November trip, and we were fishing exactly the same,
everything the same. He just happened to have a corner.
Yep.
I didn't. I had the middle of the lake, and they didn't want to be in the middle of the lake. Last time he had a corner, they didn't want to be in the corner, and I was in the middle of the lake.
Yeah, so it's horses for courses.
It's one of those. It's like this time. I haven't flipped you around, but Phil's in the basin, as it's called, because on this lake, it's best way of describing it. It's like a donut, but there's this, instead of being a complete donut and having an island in the middle, there is connection from one side into the island in the middle, which then you can fish off, which is like where we are. So you have a longer bay here, you have a bay to the left, and then you have the body of water, which is behind where I'm fishing. Predominantly, the bays are meant to have done more. On this trip they haven't yet. Phil's had 2, Mark's had 1, I've had 3 and lost 1 and had 1 pop, so lost 2.
I've lost 1 as well.
Yes, so it seems like the body of the water's holding them at the moment. How that goes into the middle of the night, we don't know.
Because you had your 3 during the night.
Yeah, I had all mine at night time till the early mornings, and I didn't have even a knock yesterday daytime. I've had a few knocks today, but that's because I've been constantly going to the same spot, using PVA sticks. So there's a little bed of bait being put there. So hopefully that'll work for me tonight.
I've currently put out my mix. I've got probably about a quarter of a bucket left for tonight, which I'll put out. I'm 3/4 towards the little point we have on this side, and I'm halfway across the lake where I just produced that nice looking 11-pound common. I'm currently sat here now, and if I look towards the far bank, I'm about 3/4 towards the bank and to the left a little bit, but I do have a little margin spot, which Simon will show you later, which hadn't produced my first fish.
Yeah. So we've been trying hard, fishing hard,
Definitely.
but as it's called fishing, not catching, it's been one of those trips where, so far we've had 6 fish between us. I think the change in weather hasn't helped, because last week when it was
Right on my spot.
yeah, that was a big splash right on your spot. As the weather was quite nice last week, people were getting out 10 fish in a day. So it does show you the difference between having the right kind of pressure. You would have thought, being low pressure, raining, a bit cooler,
They put them down to the bottom.
you would have caught a bit more, which you generally would. And last week it was the higher pressure with a bit of sunshine and everything else, and people seem to be catching. But we'll leave it there. Hopefully I'll be back on in a few minutes with Phil attached to a carp.
Definitely.
If not, we'll be hopefully catching you during the night with some fish. If not, we'll catch you in the morning. So it's a good night for me.
And a good night for me.
See you later.
Yeah.
Right, didn't get a chance to do the finishing video at the lake. Started to rain quite hard, and then my friend lost his car keys, so we spent ages doing that. Basically found them, so all good in that respect. No more fish, unfortunately. I had a bizarre incident during the night where I had a couple of bleeps, but there was nothing there. I let it, so I just left it. Got up in the morning,
to see the line that should have been going off to my left actually going through to the right underneath the tree. It got caught. I was reeling it in, brought in a big tree branch. There was nothing on the end of it, so don't know what happened there. There were no fish caught from about 4 o'clock in the afternoon until we left at midday, so all quiet there. Going back again, but this time to fish a different lake on the complex that has sturgeon and grass carp and carp in it and everything else. So I will do another video for there. I think my son's going to be coming with me on that one, so we'll be hopefully catching his first grass carp for him, or sturgeon. We'll be there. I think there's cats in there as well, so he's going to be more than happy. So catch you on the next video, people. Hope you enjoy.